Hello and welcome to what has been an update far too long in the making. It's been a long time since I've been here or I've been saying anything, and quite rightly, people have been wondering, what the hell is up with Cadence? Is it dead? Quite honestly, if I was following this game, I would kind of assumed a long time ago that the devs had given up on it. But I am here to tell you that Cadence is still alive and well, and I may have been quiet, but I have been gradually, steadily, but surely working on it in the background. I'll get into, some of the reasons for the delay and some of the reasons for my silence in a while, but right now, I want to show you Cadence. It's looking quite different from the last time that there were any video updates that I did. And yeah, basically Cadence is still the same game, but it's got a whole new skin. It's got a whole new algorithm at the center of it, and I'm quite excited because I think that this is what Cadence needed, and I think that this is what was missing. And yeah, I'm excited to show you. So for those of you who don't know what Cadence is a music sandbox game. You have these nodes, you connect them up together, and when you press play, they make noise or, sweet, sweet sounds. And then one of the goals of the game is you have to connect them up together. Oh, not with that line. Connect them up together, and then you're trying to complete the loop so that when you press play, wonderful, sweet, soothing sounds echo forth and caress your ears. Yeah, so this is Cadence. Right now, this is just the editor. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Because of this whole new interface, we've had to change the way that the puzzles will work. It will still be a game. There will still be levels and little logical puzzles that you have to solve. But for me, one of the most exciting things is that, previously all these nodes were kind of in the game and there were puzzles based around them. So, for those of you who haven't seen it or need a refresher, a different nodes have different rules. So for instance, something like a square here that will reflect nodes back. So if I add that to the circuit, you'll see it creates this kind of doubling effect. Anyway, it's you kind of get the idea. There's other ones, there's there's a switch that goes different directions each time. So if I do something like let's see, something like that, and then go there, and then maybe the second time around it goes this way around, and yeah, let's do no, wrong line. So different lines mean different things. If it's solid, it can go by both directions. If it's if it's an arrow, it can go in a single direction. Or this one here, it travels immediately. But anyway, so here's a switch, and the first time it goes this way, and it goes that way, and then a different way. And then basically the idea is that you can very quickly create these intricate little rhythms and circuits. Let's chuck that away. We don't need that anymore. But one of the really cool things that's new and different about Cadence is these tiles. So right now there's a lot of placeholder art. It's not necessarily gonna, it's not necessarily just gonna be these labels. They'll be proper icons. But these tiles are really gonna, I think, open up the game in a significant way. So as an example, here we have one circuit. I've now created a trigger or a sync sort of for this, and then what that allows us to do is that we can very easily go between these two. So if I press A on my keyboard, the A circuit plays, and when I press B, it starts playing. And if I make that sound a bit more different and a bit more interesting, so you can really hear the difference. I'm not thinking about this too hard. I'm just choosing some notes. Let's maybe go there. So Okay, I mean, it sounds kind of random, but hey, it's something. You know, and that took me like, what, maybe even like 30 seconds. Um, and then yeah, you can just you can keep going and you can keep adding other parts. So one of the really cool things about this is if I wanted another part to keep this company or another instrument, it's just a simple matter of going here, creating a tile, and you know, let's hook that up. Let's give it the same length, and let's add a new instrument for it. So they're adding a synthesizer. So maybe, yeah, let's see what that sounds like. I have no idea. And then we need to assign it to that track. So you've got the different colors. Now when I press A, you should hear something different happening. And let's say I just wanted to hear that by itself. I can disconnect that one and then press A again. Oh, okay, some bugs, you know, when I do that, this stops working. But you know, it's now, there were a lot of things in Cadence that, you know, were really interesting, but they just weren't quite hanging together. And you know, now the game is finally starting to get to a point where I feel like those things are starting to hang together. So with these tiles, you can also do really interesting things around like the timing of things. So let's say that I want this circuit to play 3 times, and then like the 4th time I just want this one to play by itself, and then on the 4th beat I want it to go to this B section over here. So let's just add something for the B, so that there's something there for both circuits. So no, that's the wrong one there. Select this one, B, B, create some nodes, quickly draw something out here. And now how would we create that? So I can go in here, I can choose like a count tile, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say over here it's gonna count 4 times, and then on the 4th time it's gonna trigger a kill, which will just like stop the nodes playing here. And then what this is gonna do, oh actually no, we said it needed to play 3 times. And then over here I'm going to create another count, and I'm gonna say count 4 times, and then on the 4th time we're gonna start circuit B playing. So again, these graphics are kind of, you know, a bit homebrewed, but you know, all the functionality is there. It's gonna be. So let's see what that sounds like. So we're gonna press A. It's playing once. It's playing twice. This one stops, and then it goes into B. That's not sounding, you know, the most sort of perhaps the prettiest thing I've ever heard, but you know, I think the circuit here is not really working too well with it. But you know, the point is you can now start doing this layering and playing different parts together and combining them in all kinds of interesting ways. And one of the big innovations with this new system, have you ever played Minecraft? Have you ever played with Redstone? Do you know the Zachtronics game, like Zachtronics games like Space Chem or Infinifactory? Infinifactory is probably a good example. Well, essentially, Cadence is taking those sort of little programming circuitry ideas and it's turning them into a music machine. So one of the cool things that is now working is you know, is this here. So I tweeted this out a while ago, and you know, just looking at it, it's like, what the hell is going on here? But basically this is a flip-flop, which is one of the you know, essential inventions at the core of what makes your computer do what a computer can do. And you know, it's gonna blow your minds. Basically, when I push one button, it goes to the other side of the circuit, and when I push the other button, it goes back to where it was before. Amazing, right? So let's just show you that. So I push A, and then I push B, and you know, musically that's not really doing much, but the point is that, you know, these are instant lines. So basically what that says is that when this one triggers, you know, all the things that are connected with these instant lines will trigger on the same beat. And then when you start combining those together with rules, so this is like an AND, which means that it will only send out its beat when it's getting in sort of inputs from two connections, or this is a XOR, so this is something that will only send out a beat when it's getting exactly one beat. If it gets more than one beat or two beats, it shuts itself. And by combining these things together, you can start creating these really interesting logics. You know, it's you know, for most of you, this stuff will be meaningless, but I'm sure, you know, some like really clever you know, creators out there will like do some really crazy things with this, and I'm very excited to see what's gonna fall out of this, because I have no idea. You know, this is not just my thing. This is a thing for, you know, myself and the community to figure out together. Let's see if I can show you another one. Yeah, here is a good example. So yeah. So these are two circuits. You know, this is just a very simple 4-beat bar. This is another 4-beat bar. And what's going to happen is I'm going to push A. That's going to come out here. There's a XOR. It's going to start this circuit playing, but this is an AND, so it needs two connections. So this circuit won't play. And then this is a gate, which means that I can only change the circuit on the 4th beat. So yeah, here we go. Press A. If I press A before the beat, nothing really happens. Although there, I kind of managed to bug it out a little bit by pressing A too many times. Let's try that again. Alright, so if I press A, okay, there we go. So A is really just to get the circuit going. It actually, this is the version of it that I built where it was automatic. You don't need to press A again. And you can see how there, you know, there is a switch node, but now I've been able to recreate that in pure logic, you know, in pure sort of Boolean if-else logic gates. And, you know, you don't have to be a programmer to really play the game. You know, this is sort of very advanced level kind of play. But I think the point is here is that now, you know, with like Steam Workshop and having these circuits and having all these tools that you can combine in really interesting ways, I think Cadence is going to be really awesome. And yeah, so right now I'm, you know, one of the reasons that things have been quite slow up till now is that you know, well, I'll be honest, you know, we'd been working on Cadence for a long time and we were having problems with the design, and then at the same time money started running out. You know, Cadence is being built almost entirely on savings and, you know, just not working and not earning money. And when you're in that situation and you're having problems with the design, that places a lot of stress on you, and it's very easy to let that stress get in the way of your creativity. So anyway, you know, the most important thing for me is I'm a big believer in taking care of yourself, and in that situation I did exactly that, and that necessitated taking a break, and it's been very healthy for me. And then another thing that happened was quite an exciting life adventure. Moved to London. So I was in Cape Town, South Africa before, very nice and sunny. Now I'm in London. It's a bit grey and miserable, but it's an exciting city, new experiences. I'm working on a game during the day called Terratech, which is a very cool creative sandbox building game. You guys should check it out on Steam. Okay, my Steam's doing this weird like logging out thing. I don't know what's up with it. Anyway, Terratech, Steam, go check it out. And yeah, I mean, Terratech it's not Cadence, but it's a creative sandbox game, and it's got a very active community, and it's been a really good learning experience, learning about how to do early access games with, you know, creative community, and what people, you know, just how a community participates in development. So right now, you know, I have a day job. Things are are going along quite slowly because, you know, I just don't have that much time to spend on the game. Which is also a good thing, you know, it means I'm being very judicial about what I'm choosing to work on right now. And unfortunately, it does mean I'm going to have to ask you to be a bit more patient before, you know, I get a beta of this editor out into your hands and before we do actually go with the Steam Early Access launch. But yeah, it's just to let you guys know that the game is still on its way. I can't tell you when it will be in your hands, but you know it's still here. And if you want to find out more, make sure you wishlist us on Steam. I think that's probably the best way to know when Cadence does eventually come out. And other than that, follow us at Living Monsters on Twitter.